Good day. Philip, Philip, where are you? Philip, Philip, where are you? Well, everybody, hello. We are, well, we're not. I am here. Oh, it looks like someone's in the waiting room. Shall we admit? I think we shall. Yo. Phil Henry is connecting to audio and can't hear you yet. Dot, dot, dot. Hello. Can you hear me?
Recording in progress. Yeah, can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, man. I can hear you. How's it going?
All good. Yeah, all good.
Sweet. It's been a bit of a rush, isn't it? But we're
I
here.
can't hear you very well, but yeah, apologies on my part for that. It was a typical tractor all the way from bloody Tenterden.
It's always like, can you hear me better now or not really?
Yeah, much better now.
Sweet. I'm trying to record it through my Steinberg just to see whether it sounds any good. So with any luck, it will, mate.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's all new stuff. So, here we are, Phil. It's been a little while, isn't it?
It has. How are you feeling? That sums it up.
Right on cue. Yeah, I felt better, mate. I mean, it's been now. This is now the sixth day. This is So essentially, like the fever's supposed to last, or the virus, whatever, supposed to last 5 days. And
Yeah.
I'm like infinitely better today in the sense that I have got out of bed and done stuff. But like I've actually worked from home. I've actually done quite a bit of work, which is quite good.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like it's I don't know whether you find this about illness now, but whenever you're ill and it's not COVID, you kind of feel like it's not worthy of like.
Do you know what? 100%. You are not the first person to have said that to me either.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? It's like COVID validation. It's like if you don't have COVID, then you're not really fully ill. And
Yeah. Do you
like,
really need to be off?
so like I was every day checking for COVID to the point where Tenacious was like, oh, I think it might be Omicron, but Omicron doesn't always test up on LFTs. So like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. Well, the doctor basically said that we've got, and the kids have now got it, which is great, a viral infection. But mate, without going into detail, like I mean, it's just intense. Like, it's been intense fatigue, intense exhaustion, and just general horribleness, man. But
Yeah.
and temperature, which is the main thing, which has been sky high. But like I say, I think I'm over the worst of it, and yeah, like all I can do now really is just blame the French for it, because that's my vibe at the moment.
Yeah.
Horrible French bastards made me sick. So,
Yeah. You know, you say that. I watched a really funny TikTok earlier with who's the Cockney comedian?
Mickey Flanagan.
Mickey Flanagan, and he talked about the pizza.
Yeah, I saw that today. Yeah.
Did you?
That's funny.
It's the only reason. The reason they eat snail is because it's the only animal they can catch.
Exactly. Yeah. Fucking French. Yeah, no, I've got to say, and I totally resonate with that. Having just come back from France, like there is, there is an element of. I mean, there is a real kind of uneasy alliance between the English and the French. Like I think just culturally we're so different. And I'll give you for instance, Phil. I'm travelling. I mean, just to give context to the listener, because we've gone straight into it like we normally do, which is nice. But
yeah.
Contextually, I've just come back from, I say just, I came back last Friday, it's now Thursday again, like from France, from Lyon, after watching the mighty West Ham smash Olympique Lyonnais in the Europa Cup quarter final. But I'm in Paris and I'm travelling down to Lyon, and I'm on a train, and I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll get first class on the way back, so that when I'm tired in the morning, that's like a nice little treat, and I'll go coach or whatever they call it, like on the way down. And also, like, as much as I try and make out that, you know, like I'm Denzel Washington, like I'm not loaded, so like I can't be doing this stuff all the time. But I thought, you know, whatever, I go down normal, and I am like, of all the seats, bro, like you're not going to believe this. Like, I'm in a four with these. It's a French, I suppose, like it's a family, but like there are two what I would call, like you would expect them to be like grandparents, like elderly people, and one very young French child, like 8 or so years old. So I come and sit down next to them, and they are visibly unhappy that I'm there. The lady's got to move her bag and stuff. And I'm like, okay, right, see how this is going. And the kid's like looking at me, shaking his head and like sort of, you know, gesticulating and speaking French. So I'm taking my headphones off, sort of like pretending that I can understand it, you know, on my pidgin French understanding sort of thing. And anyway, his dad sort of calmed him down, his granddad, I don't know who it is. And then what it transpires that they're all carrying this like vociferous, horrible illness, and like the lady's like hacking coughing into her like tissue, like, and like, you know, scobbing into it and stuff, and then just sticking it in her pocket that's right next to where I'm sitting. And I'm just thinking, this is just not what I need, like, at all. And I don't know, man. I just wonder whether there's a cultural difference between, like, I don't know whether that would be, I don't know whether we just deal with that differently in England. I just think that we're a bit more subtle and I don't know, a bit more refined in that sort of way. And cut a long story, you know what I mean? Like, cut a long story short, I went and sat on the stairs of the train for like most of the 2-hour journey, because I was just a bit like, nah, can't be doing this.
Yeah.
So it was sad times, but yeah, no, it was a great trip. Apart from that, you know, West Ham are amazing, and I mean, another like reason, you know, why there is this kind of bizarre disparity between English and the French. Like, I don't know if you heard about this, we ended up getting held back for over an hour after the
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, like madness, because the French fans, right, are attacking the police. They're attacking West Ham fans before the game with tear gas, fireworks,
Yep.
like just general utter insanity. And the police, I actually spoke to the chief of police dude, Andy Sheldon, yesterday, and I was like, dude, like, this is a long time to be held back, man. What's going on? And he was like, honestly, he said, in 13 years of doing this, the carnage that was out there, he's never seen anything like it. They're absolutely barbaric. Like, it was insane. So we had to be kept in. And then I left straight away the next morning, and then a lot of my mates stayed along. And apparently the French were out saying, English, go home, go home. All your goals offside. You were lucky, go home. And I was like, this isn't good for the stereotype and for, you know, Anglo-Francophile relations, because, you know, apart from it, you know, that it was generally like a nice city and everything. But bizarre, man. I mean, very strange times.
You sent me photos or a short video of what was happening in the stadium. It was just like crazy. But the fact that the French were up early talking or telling the British or English, the West Ham fans to go home, I think was kind of, that's how riled they were. Because I'm not sure they would be up and that kind of aggressive if they weren't that passionate about it.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I think they went straight back to bed afterwards. But I mean,
yes, sir.
I mean, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, obviously, we're joking, and all that, and you know, we love all races and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was a mad journey, but yeah, great result and really nice. And I think it's interesting to talk about sport as a whole, Phil, isn't it? Because you wanted to talk a little bit about sport and how it affected you a bit. You know?
I did. Do you know what? I'm really loving sport at the moment. as you know, we play badminton, we do a bit of squash, and we are just generally trying to get a bit healthier. But what I have done, because obviously I've got three boys, and one supports Newcastle, one supports Spurs, one supports Liverpool. So I follow all of their teams. Most of my family are either Spurs, West Ham. My dad's Chelsea. You're a West Ham fan. So I've tried to stay as neutral as I possibly can. And you know what? I have loved this football season more than any other football season for a very, very long time. When you've got kind of West Ham, Spurs, Arsenal, Man United all fighting for fourth place, and it's that close. It's really good. You've got West Ham's fighting Europe. You've got Liverpool and Man City who are swapping places, and they're putting on. I mean, I watched the Liverpool Man United game on Wednesday night, was it? Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday, yeah.
And do you know what? I mean, Man United didn't really turn up. I think they had about 10 minutes in the second half. But honestly, it was like Liverpool players were playing with glue on their shoes. The ball just stuck to it. It was kind of, if an alien landed on this planet, I can take any team, give or take. But if an alien landed on the planet and wanted to see a really good description of how football should be played, you go, yeah, watch the lads in red, because it was just incredible. And yeah, so I'm loving sport. I'm loving following it all. I'm watching a bit of snooker on the telly when I can see it. And that's got some nice. The new kind of youngsters are coming through. You know, I'm a huge fan of kind of. I mean, I date back to Steve Davis and Higgins and White and all those sorts of players. And then you got Ronnie O'Sullivan, which is the next kind of wave. And now I think we're coming on to that third wave. And there's been swimming on TV, and I just think to myself, this is fantastic. This is really good. And I think, is it the Invictus Games are on as well at the moment?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, Invictus Games are on at the moment as well. And I just think that's fantastic. It's kind of, I've always said, you know, there's not enough push on women's football, but there has been. This year, I've seen more women's football on TV than I have done in a long time. And I just think that's awesome. The kind of Paralympics, every year I've watched it, or every 4 years that I've watched it, I've gone, why is there not more on TV? You know, everyone really gets behind the Paralympics, and they love it, and they see how well we do. And as an archer, a couple of years ago when I was doing all my training and things, it was the Paralympian archers that actually kept all the funding for the sport. We had very, very poor, like, able-bodied archers, for want of a better expression. And you think none of this gets talked about, none of this gets pushed through. But the more we can expose children to it doesn't matter if, how you're feeling. We want to improve people's mental health. Let's get them outside. Let's get them doing sport. These are all the things we're saying. And there's no better way of promoting it than watching all of this stuff on TV. Everyone loves Emma Raducanu, and she was doing tennis in her Spurs outfit the other day. And
I had to unfollow. I'm serious. I put a little comment underneath and said, "This is nuts." I used to think you were great, but yeah, no. I didn't see that.
But I just, it's that sort of, and I think it's really good. And I just think now what needs to happen is that grassroots level. It's there a little bit in kind of the main sports like rugby, football, cricket to a lesser degree. But I just think this grassroots stuff really needs to, the Premier League alone actually could cater for competitions of grass leagues. Let's really promote sport in this country, and let's get it, get everyone to it. The Stour Centre, I'm fans of that place. I've got membership there. I'm loving it there. I think it's really good. Why not let kids under 12 come in for £1 or whatever and get them in there, get them doing stuff. There's rock climbing there, there's swimming, there's all this stuff. Really promote it, and let's start, improving well-being, improving health and fitness, improving all these bits. And at the same time, I think Sky ruined it for me a little bit, and I apologise if I get sued by Sky. You can have my 50p. But when it became, they almost made sport, professional sport, an elite thing to watch because it was so expensive. And I remember at the time going, I'm not paying £450 a month to watch a little bit of sport. you know, but it's kind of it's coming back. There's a lot more sort of stuff on terrestrial TV, and I you know I do like Formula One, and I don't watch it very often on Sky, but I'll always watch it on Channel 4 because they show the highlights of it. And I just think there's this whole whirlwind of sport at the moment, and I am absolutely loving it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's an awful lot to unpick in there, Phil. But I sort of, validate everything you said there. Really, like I think in the first instance, I think it's hard to remember a football season this year football season that is like this year in the sense that. There is so much at stake, isn't there? And there's no consistency really amongst any of the top teams. And I mean, I say that Liverpool and Man City are relentlessly consistent. So I mean, you take those two out of it, then the rest of them are quite capable of losing. West Ham have got Chelsea away on Sunday, which I'll be taking my daughter to if I'm feeling better. And they've just last night got beaten by Arsenal at home. So you think that there's anything can possibly happen. But I mean, it is a beautiful thing. And like I don't know. I mean, I was going to ask you two questions about it really. The first one is. Who do you think is gonna win it this year? Because obviously Liverpool and Man City, it's not dissimilar to a few seasons ago where they both went toe to toe, and one of them, I think Man City ended up winning it with over 100 points, which has never been done before. No, I might be wrong, but I think Liverpool got over 100 points as well, and that hadn't been done before. Something mental either way, and it was like no one deserved to finish second, and it's going to be precisely the same this year. Are your thoughts with Man City, or are you thinking, or do you think Liverpool might nick it?
Well, I was looking at Man City's running to the end of the season, and they do have, and I feel really bad saying this, they do have an easier run in to the end of the season than Liverpool. However, well, yeah, that my point is really, you've got teams that are fighting for relegation. You've got, I think Liverpool are in the frame of mind that if they're coming up against the let's say top 10 team, then they're going to give it everything they've got because they know they've got. If Man City are playing like a mid-table team, it's going to be harder for them to beat them because, I mean, Palace have had some shock results recently, and is it Brighton who are sitting in 10th? Yeah. And you're just thinking it's kind of a lot of it isn't making sense. So I think it's still, even at this stage, yes, it's between two teams, but it could go either way. There's 1 point in it. Liverpool sitting on a greater goal difference, and then Man City or Liverpool do a 4-0 win, and was it 4 they scored?
Yeah, they scored 4. Yeah, they beaten Man United 9-0 on aggregate this season.
That's it. And then, and Man City did the 3-0, but it wasn't quite there. So Liverpool, I just think they've got the bit in between their teeth a little bit this season. Yeah. But on the point of Arsenal that you said earlier, at the beginning of the season, Arsenal were like, oh, they're going to be relegated. Yeah. They're look at them, bottom 3, bottom 5. And here they are fighting for 4th place. It's just, absolutely. So I think if I was a betting man, which the maximum I put on is £1, I think I'd go Liverpool just because I think the odds would be greater.
Good shout, mate. I mean, I think another thing, just on that sort of note, Newcastle have won 6 in a row now. That very, very rarely happens. Like even if you're a top club, and Arsenal lost 3 in a row. And now beat Chelsea away. Then you've got, like you say, Brighton have beaten Tottenham, Arsenal, and I think someone like Man City or drawn with Man City or something like that. It's a complete hodgepodge and a mad thing. It's who knows, but either way, we are getting value for money, and it's fascinating. It's interesting. It makes me think whether it's better to be a kind of neutral and because you can kind of look back. I mean, I know you support Tottenham sort of, but you're not, you wouldn't say you're hardcore, would you really? What I mean?
No.
And, you look out for West Ham and stuff, and I think that's great, but is it more enjoyable to be a neutral in a situation? I don't know whether there's a right answer or a wrong answer, but yeah, is it better to be neutral, or is it better to be like, you know, sort of attached to one team? Because for me now, I watch, you know, Arsenal v Chelsea, or I watch, you know, whoever it is, Man United v Liverpool, and I'm always thinking, oh God, how's this going to affect us? You know, so yesterday, Arsenal beating Chelsea was probably a bad result for us, really, if we want to finish top six. And you know, but on the flip side, Liverpool beating Man U was a good result. So it's a tricky thing, isn't it? And I don't know. I think sometimes being so sort of ingrained in one club can be a bit of a can be amazing when it is amazing, you know, like the Lyon aways and stuff like that, which happen once or twice in a lifetime, really. But you know, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? You know, I don't know what you think.
Well, you see, I've got a couple of theories here.
Go on.
One is the Michael Schumacher theory, when you always strive, don't you, to become number one. You want your team to be number one. You want to be that best person or whatever it is. When you get there, then what? So this is what Michael Schumacher went through years and years, and maybe Lewis Hamilton to a lesser degree, of just winning and winning and winning and winning. And Michael Schumacher, Chris Eubank was the other one, got to a point where you actually start to go, oh God, here we go again. You know, Chris Eubank fight, we're tuning to see if he loses. Michael Schumacher, we're tuning to see if somebody, and actually you get to that point where you kind of, oh, is it? So you take, for example, you know, Liverpool, 80s was great. It was really great. But I remember very much in the 80s thinking to myself, I quite like Everton. I like Neville Southall. You know, there's a Tony Cottee. No, yeah, he was Everton, wasn't he? Yeah. You know, all these players that kind of creep, and you go, you know, maybe I'm just an underdog person. But equally, I went to the 1987 FA Cup final. I think I've told you this story before. Spurs Coventry. And I was in my Spurs kit, and it was wicked. It was my 11th birthday present, and it was just fantastic. And we lost 3-2. All of the glamour, all of the stage, all of everything that was there. And I've never been so kind of down in the mouth about an event. So, however, this season, yes, it would be great for any of the teams to do that well. But because I've kind of neutralised myself, I've been a better fantasy football player. I'm sitting in second place, second place in one league, third place in another league, and yeah, just kind of looking at the stats and looking at the players, and yeah, so I'm not going, oh, I've got to put him in because he's a Spurs player or whatever. I'm actually going, oh, Nathan Robertson. No, not Nathan Robertson. He's the badminton player. It is Robertson. I can't think of his first name. Liverpool? Yeah, from Liverpool. Yeah, left back. I was like, right, smash him. He's got to go in my team because he's doing really well. And, you know, it's kind of, it is brilliant.
You got a foot
so no,
games, mate. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a good thing. Like you say, that the lows are dreadfully low when they arrive, and obviously, every team goes through that, don't they? But I'm fascinated by the season. I'm fascinated by whether, you know, West Ham with their paper thin squad can win this competition, which would be unreal. It would be an absolute dream, and I'm interested to see what will happen with the rest of the teams, because you know, I'd love it if English teams won both European competitions, and you know, I would actually quite like Liverpool to do the quadruple. I think there's so many people saying, oh God, it'd be awful, I'd hate that, Liverpool fans would be unbearable, and yes, they would, and they are particularly vocal fans, but I still think it's something remarkable, you know, and it would be worthy of credit, you know. And there is a situation where West Ham could play Glasgow Rangers in Seville, which would be one of the most highly anticipated European finals in the history of the world. Like the amount of, you know, it would just. I personally think it would go off without any bother. But according to the chief of police guy I spoke to, he said there's loads of Millwall connections with Rangers. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, apparently there are. So it would be an interesting one. But it would be lovely for British football, wouldn't it? Because I think
Yeah.
Both those sides, deserve some success really. So, yeah, it's a great, it's been a great season, and like you say as well about the women's football, the problem that I find, if we're being completely honest about this, is not is it's just you can't get the same level of excitement because you don't have the years invested in it, do you? Like, I mean, I will follow
Yeah.
West Ham and I'll look out for West Ham, but I'm invested in those players. If
Yeah.
talking about Man City running, Mark Noble plays his last game for West Ham United against Man City. So, if it's not written in the stars that he lifts the Europa League at the end of the season, then it might be, written in the stars that he scores a penalty, in his last game. It's just one of those things, isn't it? And you think, God, these fairy tales, these like amazing scripts that football seems to always write, and it seems to teach us stuff about life, they're always there. And I just think with the women's game, it's got, so much. You've got to develop the characters, and it's like a film, isn't it? You've got to develop the characters, and you've got to develop the scripts, and we've got to be more invested in it, and they're doing a fantastic job of building it up. And my daughter, who you know very well, is she's 12 years old, and she's banging to the football. She loves it. She plays for a club, and that's a great thing. So to have women role models, but I mean the truth is, she couldn't tell you who any of the women's West Ham team are, but she could tell you obviously the whole, the male team. So I think there's work to be done there, but I think, like you say, that it's in the right direction, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I like your prediction, so I'm going to take that as a prediction from you. Mark Noble to score a penalty. Oh no, he did, didn't he?
I don't know. It's possible. The thing is, we're notoriously chummy with Man City for some reason. I don't particularly know why, but West Ham, Man City. So the chances of us doing Liverpool a favour to win. Not that I think football's that corrupt, but I just couldn't. I don't see anyone beating Man City, mate. That's the problem. So who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But if anything, for Man City, it'll be a draw that chips them up rather than a loss, because they're just so dang good, man. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
My end of season prediction is Mo Salah going to Newcastle.
Mate.
Yeah.
Never.
I bet he does.
Phil, if he does, I'll give you £100. That's a Trev.
Okay.
It's live.
I think they're the only people that can afford him at the moment. Maybe PSG, but I don't think they need him.
I think, for me, money would be on him staying at Liverpool and being the highest goal scorer, legend status. But like you say, who knows? Football's a funny old thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure Liverpool can match his wages.
Really?
He wants a big wage increase because he's out of contract.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he goes
to
Newcastle, he's dealing with. To be fair, they are looking much better, Newcastle. Like I say, 6 wins in a row is not bad at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they were another team that were relegation fodder, weren't they, at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad they're still going to be in it, because it's a great away day, great city, great fans, good stadium in the middle of the town. It's all good up there. So that's happy days. Taking 5, Phil, talk to me.
Okay, right. So 5 is going to be my starting number. This is what there are other words I think that you can use to describe this, like meditation or whatever. And I have got up earlier in the day and sat outside with a cup of tea, just 5 minutes. But Tuesday when I got to work, I was about 10 minutes early. So I just opened my car door and listened. And I just want to take 5 minutes to myself, have that time. And I heard a cuckoo, and you can hear all sorts of things, just taking 5 minutes to myself. I suppose you could call it like a meditation type thing. But it's not that. I just want, any listeners that are just feeling really stressed, now is the perfect time of year just to take 5 and let everything around you just soak in. Don't be the busy lives that we have. Just pop out of it for 5 minutes, leave your avatar doing what it needs to do, and you just take 5. I'm loving it. But on top of that, Quinn and myself and my brother, and I'm hoping you might come on board as well, with what I'm going to do, just 5 press-ups and 5 sit-ups every day for a week. and then the next week it goes up to 6, and the next week it goes up to 7, and the next week it goes up to 8. So you're slowly building out. So nothing major, nothing massive, but by December, you'll be doing 40 press-ups and 40 sit-ups every day for a week. And I think in total, you'd have done something ridiculous, like over 3,000 press-ups and 3,000 sit-ups. I think it's more like 3.5 by the end of the year. And you think, oh, I wouldn't do any of that.
I like that. Yeah. Add me to that group, and I'll
Superb.
support that, mate. I think that's a very, very good shout. I think the whole taking 5 thing's great, and I'm a firm advocate of meditation. I would say that I try to meditate every day, and I don't know if you've seen that Freeze the Fear, Phil. That's Wim Hof program that's come on telly recently.
Oh no, someone was talking to me about it the other day. I'm going to write that down. Freeze the Fear.
Yeah, it's a bit it's 2 episodes in there. It depends. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that are a bit annoying about it, like Lee Mack, but you might like Lee Mack. I don't know, but it's also, some of it is a bit like it's a bit slow, like in places. But the premise is great, because obviously it's about sort of coming out of your comfort zone, and sort of tied into the whole taking 5 meditation vibe is Wim Hof's belief in sort of mastering the breath, which they show in the 2nd episode really, really well, and at least like all the contestants kind of have quite an emotional reaction just to breathing, like. And I've got to say, I've done his breathing technique, and I didn't have an experience like they did, but you certainly feel a kind of weird elation just by being more connected to your breath and stuff. And I think that obviously. I did laugh. I was speaking to Tanisha about it. I said I've been the illest I've ever been, and I've been doing these cold showers for about 3 months now. but this whole thing is a cold shower a day keeps the doctor away. It's like, well, does it, Wim? But no, on a serious note, like I do the cold showers most mornings when I'm not dying of viral infections. But I really am a strong believer in the sense that it wakes you up, and the whole thing with the cold is it when you're trying to not be cold and you're trying to counteract the effects of the cold, you're not worrying about the mortgages, the bills, and all that sort of stuff, and your day at work. And it's kind of certainly in the same ballpark as what you're saying, I think, in the whole taking 5 to yourself, to like listen to the birds, to enjoy the sunshine, to kind of do that sort of thing. So I think if you can incorporate as much of that in life at the moment, the better, because we've had a really nice run here of like lovely weather, and I think it's come at a perfect time where most people's bills have gone up, where you're pooing your pants about going to the petrol station because you don't know how much it's going to cost you. The supermarket, everything seems to have doubled in price, and it's it's just becoming a little bit relentless. And I think, I don't know about everyone else, but I'll certainly panic about stuff like that, and then worry that I'm not going to have enough, dough and all that, So so essentially, I think it's great. I think the taking 5, I think it's something that that I definitely, want to be involved in. I think exercise as well as part of that is also key to, maintaining a good mental balance, because let's face it, in the olden days, mate, through thousands of years of being hunter-gatherers and tribes people and that sort of stuff, we didn't have to worry about all this other stuff, did we? We just worried about getting up, getting some food, protecting the people around us, and that's it. That's your day, isn't it?
Exactly.
So a lot of other things overcomplicate it, I'd say.
Yeah, and it does. It fuzzies your brain, doesn't it? Really, you just like, you can't see the wood for the trees for a bad expression. You're desperate to get outside. You're desperate to have some chill time. You're desperate to just not think about it, but you can't help. But every time you get in the car, I need diesel. You go shopping or you need food, and it's kind of like, your bank account. You get messages from your bank saying, did you know you're in your overdraft? Yes, I'm out of my overdraft.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
It's a gentle reminder of your skin, in case you weren't. You were aware, but just in case you're definitely aware now. So, Yeah, it's very, very, very. It's all kind of a pain in the bum, and I think as well, just on that note, you know, as much as everyone's free to handle things that however they want. You know, people will, when they're stressed, they will drink alcohol and stuff, and I think that is it ends up exacerbating your problems a bit as well, doesn't it? It ends up making it
Yeah.
worse. You think you're getting away from it, and you think you're numbing it out, but really the problems are still there the next day, and you've just got that little bit of anxiety that you wouldn't have had because you've had 3 or 4 drinks to get over it. You know, that's another thing as well. When the sun comes out, you know, the pub garden is full, you know, it's full, and all the beer prices have gone up, and you know, like the beer that I used to drink, it's like £6.70 now in the local, and you think, I mean, it's not going to help your money, just put it that way. So
No, it's free to take a walk.
yeah, exactly, and get those get the good feeling vibes buzzing. So yeah, Phil, I know you're. We've had to put. I've been rubbish, and I apologise this week. We haven't met the times where we're supposed to because I've basically been very, very poorly. But I know you're busy. You got some exciting birthday party. Is that right? You're going to tonight?
Oh yeah, I should give a little shout out. My sister-in-law. I won't tell you her age. She's exactly 10 years younger than me.
11? I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, it's her birthday today, and bless they, my brother and my sister-in-law have had the week off work, but they've been moved, like they've taken out the kitchen, they're bricking up doorways, and they're like proper working hard. So I know that Matt took her out for a hot chocolate this morning. But yeah, I don't think there's much of a. It won't be pin the tail on the donkey. It might be take the rubble out of the kitchen.
A working party.
A working party, yeah. But we'll go down, or I'll go down and see her and wish her happy birthday.
Yeah. Well, I'll get out your hair, man. I'll get out your hair. But I mean, it's good to catch up. It's good to disparage the French from a distance. That was nice. And yeah, I think you know the takeaway from this is to is to take 5, isn't it? I like that. I think that's a nice.
Yeah.
I think a bit of exercise, bit of fresh air, a bit of appreciating the magic around you. I think that's a great way to end. The only other thing I was going to say is we are thinking about, and we will hopefully be putting out some extra bonus content at some stage.
Yeah.
Potentially 2 bears close up, I think we could call it, where we talk a little bit about music that's touched us. And,
I had a record fall on my head once.
I think.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, and we were just going to talk about sort of music that inspired us, music that kind of stayed with us, and sort of get a bit deeper, man, rather than always just talking like we do. So that's a possibility. So stay tuned for that.
I'm gonna talk like this. Hi, my name's Phil, and you're getting up close and personal with me. That's what I'm going to talk like the whole time on the podcast.
Bit of Barry Manilow, bit of Barry White, maybe even. Sorry.
Barry White, yeah.
That will be you, and a little candle in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, and on that mental image, I think we should wrap this up and say much love to everybody. And
yeah, absolutely.
Anything you want to say?
Take 5 this week. Yeah, just take 5 this week, guys. Chill out. We're always here. If you need to get in contact, drop us a message, or give us a like. Subscribe. I only say that because Quinn tells me to say it.
Subscribe. Yeah, we don't know how to do that. I think you can follow, can't you?
Yeah, I think you can follow us. Yeah, but don't follow us around the supermarket.
No, that would be peculiar. But, yeah.
We did. I'm following you. Yeah, leave me alone.
Told me to.
Yeah, but give us a review as well. I mean, if you're going to give us a 1-star review, then don't worry, don't bother. But if you're going to give us a 5-star review, that'd be amazing.
Nice. That. I couldn't have put it better myself, my man. That's the message. Righty ho, with love. Goodbye, everyone.
Much love.
Bye.
See you later, guys.
Oh, hi Phil.
That was good.
Was
Hi.
How's it
That was
going?
good. Yeah.
I'm going to stop recording now because.